Welcome to Overview, Review, and Use, the show where we take a close look at different vehicles and rate them depending on our personal opinions. I'm your host today, Joe Carroll, and today we are looking at the 2018 Ford F-250. When you look at this mirror housing, you'll notice two things right off the bat. The first one is there are actually two mirrors here, one large normal mirror and one slightly smaller fisheye mirror. The second thing you'll notice is there's this light on the side, a mirror light, which you can turn on by the press of a button just to the left of the steering wheel. Also, if you look to the top left of the mirror, you will notice that there is a blind spot detector. When you look at these doors, right off the bat, there's one thing you notice. This keypad right here. Now, in a normal car, when you lock your keys in your car, you're kind of screwed. You have to call a mechanic to come and mess with your window to get the keys out. But in Ford vehicles, all you do is put your code in the car, you can open your door. Now, the size of this vehicle still makes getting in the back of it pretty difficult. Ford thought about that. If you press this button on the back of the tailgate, you can pull out a step. But now, even with the step, you still might not be comfortable stepping up there. So come over here, pull out the handle. Now your truck has a step and a handle to easily get on the back of your pickup truck. There's nothing too special about the bed of this truck except for the strap hooks that you will find in the four corners of the bed underneath these flaps. Now that the exterior is done, let's get to my personal favorite part, the interior. Starting with the driver's door, the first thing you'll find is you have your four master window switches, your window lock, and your mirror fold in and out. Next up, you'll have your dial to move the mirror around, and the two switches to decide which mirror you're moving. Right up from that, you'll have the switch that moves the mirror out if there were a trailer and back in. And right below that, and possibly the weirdest position of a button in a car I've ever seen, the door lock switches are on the side of the panel. This makes no sense. Why don't you just put them up here when it's easier? It's not comfortable to reach your arm down here and do it. Passenger front door only has lock switches and its window switch, and the two back doors only have window switches. In terms of storage in these doors, you have your three pockets at the bottom of the door, and you have one pocket right underneath the door handle in the front seats, and in the back seats, you only have two pockets right below the armrest. Starting with the driver's swivel, you'll find your emergency brake release, and your hood release. Directly above that, you'll find the switch that makes your pedals move. And directly above that, you have your light controls. In terms of the passenger side and back seat footwells, there's really just nothing there, so we're not going to go over that. Now onto the steering wheel. To the top left, you'll find the controls to your display directly in front of you. Directly below that, you have your cruise controls. To the right, we have our volume, skip, and media buttons. And directly below that, we have our Siri, mute, answer call, and decline a call buttons. To the left of the steering wheel, you have your mirror lights on and off buttons for both sides. And just to the left of the dash, you have your utility light buttons. To the left and right of both the steering wheel and glove box, you have your climate control vents. Directly in the middle, at the very bottom, you will find your climate control system. Right above it, your media system, and right above that, your display. Right above the display, you have your traction control button and your hazard lights. To the left of your media switch, you have the knob that you would use to shift into four-wheel drive. To the right of your media switches, you have both your car and home charger. Now onto the center console. Right below the climate controls, there's this little hatch you open up, and that has storage and two USB ports. Directly behind that, you have your two cup holders and more storage space. Here's something kind of cool about these cup holders though. If you take the top of this cup holder here and slide it to the side, now you lose a bit of storage space, but now you have four cup holders in the front and two in the back. When you open up your center console, you'll notice that there's a tray where you can put your dollars, coins, and cards. Directly below that tray is just this big open space. In the top right corner of the bottom of the center console, you'll find another car charger. Now onto the glove box. When you open it up, you'll notice there are two slots. The top one is for your owner's manual and important papers. The bottom is for everything else. Now something kind of cool about the dash here is there's a lot of storage. If you go down to where it says Super Duty, to the lower left hand corner, there's a little button. Push it and it flips up, and then you have even more storage. Both the driver and passenger have a sun visor that comes down with a mirror that does not include a light. When you look in the center here, you have your variety of light switches, your two dome lights, your glasses case, your 6 programmable switches, and of course, your back window opener. Now let's get on to the next part of this, the back seats. Now right off the bat, I have to express how impressed I am of how much space there actually is in the back here. because this is only an extended cab. It's not like a crew cab with all the big area back here. No, it's only an extended cab. And yes, my knees are touching the back of the seat, but I'm still sitting here comfortably. And if I really don't want to touch, just turn sideways. This is actually pretty comfortable back here. In terms of storage, there's actually a lot of it back here. These seats right here, you can flip two of the seats up to free up some storage under here. They all just come up and clip in, and when you want to take them back down, you just grab the handle, pull it, and they come down. Onto the center console here. Of course, you'll first see that there are two cup holders, and in the back here, you have your one car charger, your USB charging ports, and your home charger. Directly to the left and right of those, you have your two climate control vents. And in the top middle here, you have one dome light with one switch to turn on and off. Why it's needed, I really don't know. It's not like this really does much. Now that we're done with the overview, it's time for the review. What do I rate this truck personally? In terms of looks, I give it, for pickup trucks, I give it a 6 out of 10. I mostly like it, but there are some things that I would change personally. In terms of practicality, I give this truck an 8 out of 10. Because though it is large and you can put a bunch of stuff in there, which is great, it can haul loads, it's great. But it's also a very large vehicle, which means unless you're used to driving them, it can be difficult to get into certain places. Thank you for watching episode 1 of Overview, Review, and Use. If you have any suggestions for how I should do the next episode, please leave them in the comments. This is the first episode, trying to work through some kinks. So if anyone has any suggestions, it would be widely appreciated.